Hello there, time again for the July videos, the monthly videos from Stamp Club. The first video I posted was for the post-it note holder that we did at Stamp Club, and this one is going to be for the card project that we did. And what I showed the ladies at Stamp Club was the file folder card. And there are some different ways to do it as well, so I'll show you some of the samples I did. Here's the first sample. And this one is more as a pocket card. We did the file folder on the front, and then this little pocket comes out. So you could put your well wishes on either side, or you could write on the back. So there's one. We did this little one that's a note card size, so it's, excuse me, 3.5 by 5. And this one is closed up as well and has a little pocket to put inside, and we did the file folder on both sides. So there's two. We did a file folder that was even across the top. So two file folders, tabs on either side. This one actually goes sideways. So there's number 3. And number 4, which was I think the most popular one at Club, is the one that's alternated a little bit. It's not the same length on both sides, but this one's cut down a little bit, almost like a real file folder. And this one I did sideways, put some pearls on the front, all the same color scheme, all the same papers. And there you have it. So there's 4 different ways you can do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one. This one was the most popular. I tend to like this one a little bit more. So I'll show you how to do this one. But all of these can be done using the same tab method. You're just doing them at the same height, at a different height, at the same height, but as a pocket. So you just snail or fuse the sides together. And then for this one I just did the front, left the back high, and made it a pocket. So it's all the same type of card, just slightly altered and decorated a little differently. So that's what we're going to do. So let's do this card here. So first off, you've got a piece of cardstock, standard size. So it's half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So we've got 5.5 by 4 1/4, which would be your card front size. Here I've got this scored. So 5.5 by 4 1/4. That's not even, of course. There we go. And then to get the difference on the front, I didn't use anything very scientific. I just cut a piece off, roughly about a half an inch off, but really it's completely up to you and how you want your card to look. So I'm just going to take a piece off, so that now I have 2 unequal pieces of cardstock. I'm going to need that cutter later, so I don't want it to go too far. The next thing I'm going to do is pull out the envelope punch board. I think this has become my absolute, very most favorite Stampin' Up! Tool ever. I love it because it makes envelopes, but there's so many other things you can do with it, and I'm in awe. This is one of my favorite tools. So what I'm going to do to make the tabs is I'm going to put the paper in to the edge of the opening, and I'll show you in a minute, and then I'm going to pull it out to the 3 mark. So at first what I'm going to do, and let me just see if I can see this in the video camera. I hope you guys can see this. When you put your paper in, I want you to put it to the edge of the opening. So see this little opening right here? I want it on the left hand side of the opening there. And again, you don't have to be very scientific about it. And then you're going to move the edge of your paper here all the way out to the 3 mark and punch. And you have your little divot. Now that being said, for this guy right here, this is one of the pocket cards, but it's the smaller one, the 3.5 by 5, that's more of a note card size. I only pulled it out to the 2.5 mark. I thought it would look weird if I had huge tabs on a smaller card. So where it's not scientific, just depending on what size card you're making, adjust this accordingly. No big deal at all. So I've got that. Now what I want to do is I want to do opposite corners. So I want to come down to this side. So I'm going to flip this, and I can see my divot is on this corner down here, and I want the opposite one. So again, I'm going to line up to the left hand side of the opening. If you can see that there. Punch, slide over to the 3, and punch. So this is what your cardstock's going to look like. 2 cut corners, cuts in the middle, and 2 blank ends. Okay, so we can get that envelope punch board out of the way, and we're going to bring back the cutter again. And now what you want to do with this is you want to cut off the ends with the uncut corners. So you have 2 corners that have divots. You don't want to touch those. Those are your tabs. You want to cut off this piece and this piece. Okay, so how we're going to do that, we're going to line up your cardstock with your cutter, and you're going to bring your divot that you've just punched on the envelope punch board over to the groove on your cutter. Every cutter has one. I'm hoping you're using the Stampin' Up! Cutter, but if you have a Fiskars or any other brand, every one of them has a cutting groove, and you want to bring that notch right over to the groove. Slide up until you don't feel any resistance anymore, and you've just cut off a piece. So now you have your file folder tab. See that? And we're going to switch and do the other side. So again, line this up with your cutter. You want the divot to line up right with the cutting groove on your cutter. Now I just left that cutting piece where I left off last time. I haven't moved it since, so I'm just going to put this down. It's going to be in the hole, and I'm going to cut right down. And there we go. There we go. All of a sudden, you've got a file folder. Pretty cool. Now I've got some pieces that I used here, and some of it was DSP, and of course now I'm blanking on the name of the DSP, but I'll put it in the video so that you can see which one I used. And had a huge club the other night, which was wonderful, and I was coming to the ends of my DSP pack. So what I did was I made the flower DSP to go along with it. So using Mixed Bunch, the flower stamp set, this guy right here, Mixed Bunch, and the coordinating inks for the cardstock, or for the DSP. So I used Strawberry Slush, Coastal Cabana, Crushed Curry, Tangelo Twist, Pistachio Pudding. I think that was it. I don't think I used the gray or anything from that DSP pack, but I used the Mixed Bunch and I made my own DSP. So what I'm going to do with that guy is I'm going to snail the DSP I made to the front. And now I've cut it the same width, so I want to line up the bottom part so that it matches. I hope. And then I'm just going to trim off this piece here. And the same goes for this guy. I have a strip of the DSP, and again I'll put the name in the video. And I am just going to line it up here. And I'm going to trim this way. So taking my handy dandy scissors, the Stampin' Up! Scissors cut through this stuff like butter. I love them. They make doing what could be tedious tasks like this very easy, which I love. There, so I've snipped off the DSP, and now I'm going to snip off the homemade DSP. And I put the different kinds on here. I liked the look of it just because it helped to differentiate the 2 tabs. I'm just going to give this a quick cut. Of course, things aren't lining up for the video, but that's what these lovely scissors are for, right? Right. Make it all work. There we go. Some minor adjustments. So I found putting the 2 different kinds of DSP on really helped to differentiate the 2 tabs and make them stand out like a file folder. So there we go. We have the 2 different DSPs on here. And now I cut one of the Framelits, the Labels Collection Framelits, out of the Crushed Curry, which is one of the colors from the DSP pack. And I liked the look of that on the inside for a happy birthday or a greeting of some sort, or even just where you write your greeting. But I liked the look of that on the inside of the card, so I'm going to do that again. And I like the way it pops up. Again, gives some differentiation. And I've got my two little labels here. I'm going to put my ribbon. That's what I'm looking for, my ribbon. And this is just the white organza ribbon from Stampin' Up. Love this ribbon. Very easy to snail onto the front of cards. Makes beautiful bows because it has a nice thick texture to it. I love this ribbon. This is my go-to ribbon for sure. Other ribbons may come and go, but I always come back to this one. Always, always. And I'm just going to snail a strip of this across the bottom here. There we go. And I'm just going to snip off the ends. I didn't do a knot or anything, I just did a strip of ribbon on the front. You could take a piece, put a knot in it at first, and then put it across. Or tie a fancy little bow if you like. Now these, let me get this out of the way and let me show you the stamp set I'm using, because I'm going to have to do a greeting as well for the front of this card. I've got two pieces cut here, and it's from A Fitting Occasion. This is the stamp set here. And what I've done is I've cut the pistachio pudding and the strawberry slush. I've used the stamps and then cut them with the punch. The curly label punch, I believe it is, and the modern label. It also coordinates with the scallop oval and the 1-inch circle punch. So it coordinates with 4 different punches, and you've got 24 pieces, 6 different greetings, and a ton of different images. Love it. So what I'm going to do is I've got these two already done. And I'm just going to grab my scrap to do my greeting. And I'm going to do the happy birthday. And I'm looking for the party hat. Oh, maybe I'll do the candle. That's what I'll do. And I've got the coordinating ink, the pistachio pudding, and the crushed curry. I'm going to do the It's Your Birthday and the crushed curry. And I'm going to do the candle and the pistachio pudding. There we go. Let's do another candle beside it, just because. Oh, it didn't work. I only got half a candle. Maybe they're 1 1/2. It's going to work for the video. You get the idea. And then these all coordinate with the 1-inch circle punch. See, that's how OCD I am. I have to redo it. I'm going to put the candle in the middle, and I'm just going to do one. I couldn't leave it. I just couldn't do it. There we go. I've got our greeting all done. So now I am going to, where did my snail go? I'm going to snail on my curly label. I'm going to grab a dimensional. 2, actually, for the ends of my modern label. And I'm just going to layer my greetings, make them really pop up off the card. And then I'm going to put a dimensional on this guy too. There we go. And then I've got a couple little pearls here from the multi-pearl pack. Oh, my sticky's gone off them. There it is. Of course, it's got to be the most difficult pearl I've ever done. Oh my gosh, I'm not having any luck with these guys tonight, am I? Let me see if I can grab some more. Yeah, both of those are the same. Some more pearls here. Yeah, there we go. Those ones don't want to cooperate, but that's okay because I've got others. There, I'm just going to throw some pearls, excuse me, in the middle of these flowers. And I'm going to put one big guy right in the middle there. There we go. it's your birthday. Excuse me. File folder card. Easy peasy. And now I'm noticing my ribbon's a little crooked. I could always fix that later. But there you have the file folder card. And you know what? I just remembered I forgot to do something with the envelope punch board. But it's easy enough to do after the fact, which is awesome. I forgot to round the corners here and here. As you'll see on this guy, I've got my file folder tabs, but I also have these corners rounded. And I did that on this guy as well. Rounded the corner here and the two top corners. And then on this guy, the one that's even across the top, I did round both corners as well. So that's one step that I forgot to do. But the great thing about that is, easy peasy, bring back the envelope punch board. It has the corner rounder. So not a problem at all that I forgot to do it. Let's put both corners in. There we go. Haha, now we are officially done the file folder card. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you can follow along, and good luck making your own creations. Happy stamping!